New Orleans, Louisiana, 3:15 a.m., January 1st, 2025. The forces of hatred and terror, they had their fleeting moment. It's been a difficult 24 hours, now 30 hours. But this is a resilient city, and we are a resilient people. Knock us down, and I can assure you that we will come back even stronger. And the light in the end will always prevail. Pray for New Orleans. Pray for peace. Okay, we got a football game to play, and for Fighting Irish Preview and fightingirishpreview.com, it's Notre Dame, Georgia, CFP quarterfinal, and these are my final thoughts just before kickoff. I'm Phil Houk, and this is brought to you by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. Remember, where you bank does matter. Here are my thoughts. Thought number one, and let's talk about Riley Mills. Injured 13 days ago. It's been 13 days since Notre Dame took out IU. That's hard to believe. That's a loss. It's a big loss for the Notre Dame defense. He led the team in sacks. He was the big guy in the middle of that defensive line, could hold the point. Him and Howard Cross, of course. So what's the answer? Well, it's a three-part answer as to what the answer is, but there's some similarities here between the three answers because they're all the same. The answer is Gabe Rubio, and Gabe Rubio, 6'5", 316. He's got some experience. He's arguably better against the run than Riley Mills. Okay, I'll go with that. But the question is, how many snaps is he good for? Because Gabe Rubio, who was behind in the depth chart, Riley Mills, would go in and play a few series of games. There's no Gabe Rubio behind Gabe Rubio. So the question is, how many snaps is he good for? Somebody's going to have to pick up some slack. Look for a combination of Donovan Heinisch, the nose tackle, and redshirt freshman Armel Mukam to provide relief. He's 6'3", 302. Mukam he's played a little bit this year. He flashed in August. He's going to be a good one. He's going to have to step up and play some downs here tonight, this afternoon. But ultimately, the answer is Gabe Rubio, and Gabe Rubio. By the way, we're in the Louisiana Superdome here. It's kind of a cool place, huh? The Georgia band has just done their pregame rehearsal. And it's a great venue. Anyway, Gabe Rubio, if he's making plays tonight, that's good. Thought number two, Georgia quarterback Carson Beck. He's out for the game. Next man up is Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton, great credentials. The kid was Prep Player of the Year out of Georgia a couple of years ago. Dual threat quarterback. In his college career, though, he's only thrown 51 passes. He completed 37 of those, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he can run. Now, his college stats don't really reflect a lot of his ability to run. We've seen a little bit. But as a prep player, Gunnar Stockton rushed for 77 touchdowns and over 4,000 yards. Much more of a run threat than Gunnar Stockton. But he's not experienced. Look for Al Golden and the Irish to confound and confuse. That's going to be the goal against an inexperienced quarterback. And if they can do that to Gunnar Stockton, that's good. If he plays well, maybe that's not good. All right, thought three, how did the Irish score in this game? Georgia's defense is very good. They've got NFL caliber players at each level, one or two at each level. But by Georgia standards, this is not a great defense. Of course, that's all relative. They have won 2 national titles in the last 3 years. There's going to be some 3-and-outs for the Irish here today. There's going to be some run stuffs. We've seen that. But Mike Denbrock is going to poke and prod until something works. And Mike Denbrock has a lot of weapons at his disposal. Something eventually I think is going to go off for the Irish. Jeremiah Love, of course, right? Riley Leonard making plays. He's going to be unleashed. They're going to let him run at will when he needs to. And we know he can be a weapon. Jordan Faison flashed. He's a good player. We know that. He flashed against IU with the big catch near the goal line. Look for him to stretch the field. Jadarian Price, we know he can go off at any time. Mitchell Evans, the tight end. he's really kind of due, right? He's rounding back into shape. He's had some decent moments this year after the knee injury last year. Maybe he can be that weapon here today. And hey, how about a kickoff return? Jaden Harrison brought in as a redshirt freshman, or I should say as a graduate transfer last year with great credentials as a kick returner. Hasn't really had one this year, but maybe he can do that tonight. So what's the pick? Well, Vegas, when I got these notes together 2 days ago, said Georgia by 1. That line has actually changed when I checked it this morning. It's now Notre Dame by 1. So it's bounced around a bit. Some speculation here as to why that may have happened. I'm not sure. Anyway, what Vegas says is it's a close game. So close games, that means it's a turnover game, right? Who can get the most possessions, the most opportunities to score points? And here's a number to think about in a turnover game. Notre Dame is plus 16 in the turnover department. That's really, really good. That's like tied for number 2 in the country. They're forcing a lot of turnovers, and they're taking care of the football as well. Georgia, however, is plus 1 in the turnover department. Big differential. Georgia plus 1, Notre Dame plus 16. I like that as a potential advantage for the Irish in a close football game. So here's the pick. For the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, the Fighting Irish Preview and Fighting Irish Preview pick, Notre Dame 21, Georgia 20. Like and subscribe. We're all over social media. You know the drill. We really appreciate your support and all your concern that you've expressed for the Fighting Irish Preview team over the last few days, for the last 36 hours. But we're here to bring you a really great matchup here from the Superdome today. I'm Phil Houk. Updates, of course, coming. Check us out on Twitter, X, and during the game, and we will talk to you after the game. Go Irish!